Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and it is now Greenwich Mean Time, 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, because the clocks went back a week or so ago here in the UK. Summer has truly ended. It's all over. We are now in the grips of autumn and winter. So if the time feels a bit funny where you are, that's because it's 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time now here back in the UK, because the clocks went back a week or so ago. Anyway, I hope you're good. I hope you are well. Plenty of game news to talk about. I mean, Fortnite has had a week and a half. Well, not a week and a half, but it's had an amazing week by introducing the original Fortnite Island. It's gone down a blast. Xbox are developing tools to create AI characters, partnering with InWorld. I did a video on that. GeForce Now, priority, sold out in Europe. What? Boost Droid going to 4K. Good news. All this and much, much more, of course. Roll the title.
It's the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden.
Yokoso, yokoso, yokoso. Welcome to the Monday Game Chat. Yes, I'm back. I know I've been a bit lapse and wasn't around last week. Partly because I ventured upon another trip around the sun. Let's just say that. I've had my fair share of trips around the sun. And this week, or the last week or so, I've commenced another trip around the sun, and that is why perhaps I didn't do a show last week. I was chilling and doing some other stuff in preparation for starting a new journey around the sun. But what I have been doing since then is playing games. And what games? Oh my gosh. So I'd like to know what games you've been playing. As ever, put it in the chat because you know, I like that. I like to see what games you've been playing and all of that. Get involved with the chat. That's what it's all about, of course, ladies and gentlemen. I always appreciate it when you get involved in the chat. So let's do that. In terms of games, well, the game that has been taking up a lot of my time this week, and partly why I didn't stream last week, Alan Wake 2. Oh my gosh. What a game and a half. What a game and a half. One of the best looking games I think I've ever played. I am playing it on GeForce Now Ultimate and it looks incredible. But the detail in it is just really cool. Just the character animations, just the subtlety of the character animations. It doesn't feel like you're controlling some kind of ragdoll physics type characters that sometimes you get, you know, with especially on sort of, certain games. You feel like their arms, the skeletons in their arms are too long sometimes. Do you ever feel that when you're playing a game? It looks like their arms are too long. The skeletons in their arms are a bit stiff or something like that. No, not with this game. The detail in the characters' faces, but more in the subtlety of their animation and movements as you move the characters around are really, really good. The acting performances, really, really good. The story, of course, really kind of mind-blowing, confusing, intriguing, really beautifully done. Very cinematic as well. The whole game direction, of course, it is a prime example of great storytelling, narrative-driven game. You feel like you're involved, but you also feel like you're kind of, you know, not watching a movie, but taking part almost in a movie because of the levels of quality in it. Really, really good. Highly recommend it. Can be a bit confusing in places. I did need some help. But equally, when you crack a few riddles and solve a few puzzles, you do feel like I often do in the games like that. I feel like big brain. Yeah, when I go, I got that first time. I sussed it. I worked out a puzzle, and then later on I found out they gave you a massive clue to what the puzzle was. And I thought, no, I'd worked it out before I got the massive clue. Big brain. And there's lots of those kind of big brain moments that give you that great satisfaction. And of course, it's damn creepy. They put in the jump scares. The amount of time I swore out loud playing Alan Wake 2. And I can't wait really to get back into it. I had a bit of a weekend off playing the game, but I will be diving back into it maybe later tonight. Have you played it? Let me know down in the chat below, of course. Calm's in the chat. Good to see you. I'm loving RoboCop. I am looking forward to jumping into that. I have to be honest. Just going to move your chat highlight there. We didn't move it over there. There we go. Yeah, definitely. I'm really loving the look of it, and it's getting rave reviews because of the way that it's sort of captured the essence and the feel and the spirit of the original RoboCop movie. It's funny because I was watching, I don't suppose it's that funny really, because it's the algorithms. I just watched a YouTube video about the original RoboCop. Those that don't know, I wrote a thesis on it for my degree, my film degree. Well, it wasn't specifically on RoboCop, but RoboCop featured heavily in my thesis. And I was watching a YouTube video about it, and about the reveal, the character reveal of RoboCop, and how brilliant it is in the original film. And it's never dawned on me before quite how brilliant it is, because it's completely the antithesis of modern Marvel movies, where the reveal is like, you know, lots of lights and the character kind of, you know, is sort of backlit, and you know, if it's Superman, he's, you know, I know that's DC Comics, but you know what I mean? His cloak is flowing, or if it's Thor, he's sort of, or Iron Man, they sort of lands on the floor, and there's big trumpets and fanfares. You know, the character reveals in modern superhero movies and stuff like that. You know, if it's Batman, it's a big close up of his face, and he kind of, you know, that raises from the shadows, and you see him or a silhouette of him on the, you know, on the skyline or something like that. Big dramatic music. The reveal of RoboCop is so subtle. You are teased with it. You are sort of denied a full-on view of RoboCop until much more. In fact, it starts off from the perspective of RoboCop, through his eyes, and then just hints of it. The first you see is actually him walking. There's a video screen, and the first you glimpse of RoboCop is a picture of him on the video screen, as he, you know, because you're in his perspective as you walk out of the lab, but there's a video camera filming him as he walks out of the lab, and that captures him, and that's the first. You just get a little tease of it, and then when he enters the police station, yeah, you hear the noise, the goo, goo, goo. And he's behind a partition with the kind of, you know, glass you can't see through, so you don't see him properly. But what you do see is the reaction of all the cops in the police station, and there's no grand music. You hear his footsteps. Really, really, really cleverly done. I could go on it for but yeah, and a lot of the big Marvel movies, the big Marvel hero reveals, are the complete antithesis. They're like, it describes it as though they sort of stopped for a photo shoot for a moment as they land, you know, or they kind of leap through all together in unison, and then land, you know, with their fist on the ground and their fist up or whatever, and then look up, and it's they momentarily pause as though for a photo shoot. You know, it's all kind of bit in your face. Yeah, they could learn a bit from the brilliance of Paul Verhoeven's original RoboCop. Anyway, there you go. Francisco Soares. Hey, Clive, Game Pass prices going up around the world. Do you think this was always in the plan but held off until the... Probably. I think there's an inevitability about... There's so many subscriptions are going up. It's just the cost. And I guess they have to pay for the ABK deal. And what better time to do it than when you feel like you're getting... potentially the most value you're ever going to get, or you've ever had out of Game Pass. So what better time? But yeah, I think it's just an inevitability that subscription prices, are going to rise. The cost required, and we'll come to that actually with regards to GeForce Now. There is a finite amount of cloud space, cloud compute space that companies have. So yeah, I think it's just a sad consequence of the times that we're in. Anyway, as ever, let me know what games you've been playing. Put it down there. I am looking forward to playing RoboCop because it looks like it's my cup of tea. And as I said, it's got rave reviews. Let's kick off with some gaming news, ladies and gentlemen. And why not, for a change, do a bit of Sony news? Because I'm guilty. Hands up, guilty. Yeah, I neglect PlayStation because I don't have a PlayStation. But I feel this is the Monday Game Chat. We should talk about, news related to PlayStation when it's interesting. So here, From Software is making an exclusive title for PS5, according to a new rumor from Resetera. So From Software make a lot of those horrible, I say horrible, but really fast reaction twitchy games. That's not the genre we're talking about. Japanese company, so no surprise there that they would be making an exclusive. So it's not a massive leap, but yeah, Sekiro. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Classic. Got to get your button presses at the right time. All of that. Elden Ring, another one, of course, and Bloodborne. So yeah, word in the street is that, hey, Kel Surprise, Japanese developer of big global international games, is making a game for PlayStation. It is a rumor, though, I hasten to add, ladies and gentlemen. Brazil said, I don't know where this rumor quite is from. It's from Resetera here. So it is only a rumor, but it wouldn't be surprising, as I said, big international Japanese developer makes a game for PlayStation 5, Kel Surprise. But there you go. But I just thought I would share that little bit of news with you. Actually, while I'm here, why don't we talk about... So GeForce Now... as an ambassador of GeForce Now, we were informed of the news last week, and it sort of surprised me, really. But GeForce Now 1 month premium memberships is very specific here. GeForce Now 1 month premium memberships are sold out in Europe due to the increased demand. GeForce Now 1 month premium memberships. Now, is this as a result of Xbox PC Game Pass titles coming to GeForce Now? Or we started to see a flow of games from Xbox, the Xbox library and Xbox Games Pass. I'm taking, massive advance. I play Starfield on my Xbox Series X when I'm sitting in my armchair, and then I play Starfield via GeForce Now when I'm sitting here at the computer via GeForce Now Ultimate. So is it that there has been a sort of a sudden increase, especially in Europe? We're a bit more ahead of a curve when it comes to cloud gaming, I'd like to think. Has there been a sudden increase because of that Xbox partnership beginning to bear fruit for GeForce Now? I mean, if you looked at the last GeForce Now news that I did, my news video, I hope you've all watched it. If not, shame on you. Get yourself watching it. There's 50 games in November. A week before that, there were about 26 games in 1 week. And the thing is, the majority of these games are coming from the Xbox PC game library or the Xbox Game Pass library. Not always the big, well-known games on Xbox PC Game Pass library, but they're beginning to more than drip feed, but they're beginning to flow through now. And as promised, we're getting those Xbox Game Pass titles on GeForce Now. So, yeah, is that why they're at capacity? It doesn't affect things if you've already got GeForce Now GeForce Now memberships. It's just for new memberships, and if you've got 6-month memberships and stuff like that, that's all fine. But free membership signups have also been paused. So I think this does not impact current members. Limited 6-month premium memberships are still available, although limited. So they're limiting, really, who can get it. But I think GeForce Now Ultimate is still available. And if you can stretch that far, given that more and more Xbox PC titles are coming on it, I did see some comment on mine going, yeah, but they're not the best Xbox PC game titles. There's, but it's the big titles. And I think, well, you've got a sort of point, except Starfield. Yeah, there's no Halo yet. There's no Sea of Thieves yet. But, they'll be coming, I'm sure, without a doubt. And then we'll start seeing the, Activision Blizzard titles in 2024. But, yeah, very interesting time. They seem to be at capacity in Europe. This is only in Europe. Will we see the same thing in the US? I don't know. Xbox now work with AI in-world partnership. Yes, indeed, Jonas Jöner. And we'll come to that. I did do a video on in-world on my AI channel. I think I mentioned it on the show before. So I have an AI channel. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers. We're about 2 or 3. So in fact, if you haven't subscribed to the AI channel, let me just if you haven't subscribed to my AI channel there, look, 996. We're nearly at 1,000, ladies and gentlemen. Can we make it? But I did do a video on, here it is. All these NPC characters are AI. And this was effectively a demo that In-World Origins did to show what can be achieved using various development tools and AI. So the characters, just to summarize very quickly, rather than write out the script for each NPC, they basically give the NPC the sort of motivation, a little bit of the backstory, but not all of it, and a certain bit of characteristics. And then you ask the characters questions. As a detective, you're trying to investigate a case. You ask these NPC characters questions, and rather than draw on a sort of a script tree with different branches on it, it uses AI to respond accordingly within the framework of that particular character. So you feel like you're interacting with NPC characters in a much more realistic way. So really, really cool. If you've not checked out the video, then definitely do it. Loads of people haven't. Not hardly anybody's viewed this. So I found it really interesting. But highly recommend it. It's over on my AI channel. AI Daily News there. At AI News Daily Update. If you've not checked it out, then definitely go and check it out. But anyway, yes, as pointed out here by Jonas there, Microsoft is bringing AI characters to Xbox. Microsoft is partnering with In-World AI to create Xbox game development tools for generative AI characters, storylines, and more. So basically creating this is what InWorld were doing, using sort of metahuman to animate the face to sort of speak so it looks like it's saying the words that the AI is generating. And sort of also animating the characters by giving them sort of certain emotive sort of stances and facial expressions and stuff like that. So Microsoft is partnering with InWorld AI to develop Xbox tools that will allow developers to create AI-powered characters, stories, and quests. The multi-year partnership will include an AI design co-pilot system that Xbox developers can use to create detailed scripts, dialogue trees, quest lines, and more. At Xbox, we believe that with better tools, creators can make even more extraordinary games, explains Haiyan Zhang, General Manager of Gaming AI Xbox. The multi-platform AI toolset will include AI Design Copilot for scripts and dialogue and an AI character engine that can be integrated into games and used to dynamically generate stories, quests, and dialogue. InWorld has been working on an AI NPCs that react to questions from a player, much how ChatGPT or Bing Chat responds to natural language queries. So you talk to it, whether you type it in text or you say it on a microphone using natural language, and then the AI characters are created in such a way, and they have certain motivation, as I said, and have a little bit of the story maybe, will then respond in kind. And then they use really clever kind of animation to make sure that how they respond is sort of matched by the mouth animation and all that kind of stuff. Really, really cool. So it'll be interesting to see. Now Microsoft is, developing the tools within InWorld, specifically, for Xbox games, but they'll make the tools available for others. But it'll be interesting to see. You imagine something like Starfield. I mean, the dialogue tree in that must have been ridiculous. There's so many characters in Starfield. And then there's so many options in how you can respond. But with AI, it's going to save massive time, or even give you even more complexity with the characters that you create. So it's going to be interesting. So I'm glad. I think what InWorld had was interesting, but I think partnering with Xbox will take it to another level, not just from a financial point of view, but from, you start getting creative game developers and game storytellers and game character creators working on it. InWorld are more of an AI company with gaming in mind, but get some gaming creatives in there, and I think the tools that they can develop and bring can be really finely tuned to be really cool and create interesting game characters and stuff like that. So there you go. Thank you, Tom, for that. Fortnite, while I'm on it, brilliant. Didn't take me to where I wanted to go. But anyway, we don't need... Fortnite had its largest concurrent player sort of session, as it were, this week or last week, with the release of the OG Fortnite Island. My son was super excited about it. He was a bit disappointed that he couldn't play it on his PC because his PC's still at the PC doctor. It's still in PC hospital, getting repaired after we sort of almost killed it. It's on life support. So he was moaning to me, he had to play with his controller on his Xbox Series S. Bless him. He's so used to playing on a gaming PC with his keyboard and mouse. He was most disappointed that the OG Island had come out, and he's on Xbox and controller rather than his beloved PC, who's at the PC hospital. Fingers crossed it pulls through, everybody. Please pray for my son's gaming PC that we nearly killed. We may have killed. I don't know what I'm going to do if the PC doctor can't bring it back to life. Internet of Games has been playing Alan Wake 2, Lair of Fear, Plague Tale Requiem. Wow. Moving on to Robocop and probably Hogwarts. Wow. Busy time. Last Thursday, GeForce Now Ultimate had terrible waiting times. I think I did spot a waiting time, Calm. That's interesting. Yeah, I did. I think I spotted one. And I was like, what? It wasn't too long for me when I was playing, but I'd never seen it before, I don't recall. Not on Ultimate, anyway. Stadia Community Awards this year, please. Oh, my God. Do you know what? I so enjoyed doing that show with John and I, and having John do it with me as well was really, really cool. It was everything I hoped it was going to be. It was so much work, but yeah, it was so much fun to do. But I did feel like not never again, but like I did feel like that was a lot of work. But a lot of people really, really appreciated it, and that's why you do these things, There was a real coming together of the community. People got involved, even the haters to a certain degree, because it was about allowing people to have an opinion on what games they liked and all of that. So it was a lot of fun. Oh, heady days. Will Xbox upgrade their cloud gaming servers this year? Well, this is the thing. This is the thing, Colm, because, GeForce Now Ultimate, as we know, are 4080, RTX 4080s. Games like, Alan Wake really showcase GeForce Now Ultimate. I cannot express how incredible the game looks. And you've got RTX, you've got full ray tracing. So not, like path tracing going on there. I mean, real cutting edge stuff, especially in terms of ray tracing. It looks amazing. There's stuff in the dark and the water. It's just really, really cool. There's certainly, I think there's the stuff with Saga Anderson, who's the sort of character you play as first, I think is better. It looks better than the stuff with Alan Wake. I don't know what it is. The stuff with Alan Wake is still amazing. It still looks brilliant. But I think the character of Saga looks even more realistic. I mean, it's not like full on photo realistic. It's that sort of gaming realistic, but it works really, really well. But yeah, GeForce Now Ultimate is a brilliant, brilliant showcase. The same with the sort of the Cyberpunk as well. Now, it's had its updates and stuff like that. I was playing Cyberpunk not on GeForce Now Ultimate, actually, on a proper PC that I was reviewing on one of the various laptop reviews I was doing. And I was surprised how good Cyberpunk is looking nowadays. Looking really, really good. And GeForce Now Ultimate is a great place to check it out. So, yeah, Xbox, however, seem to be resting on the laurels, as I've said many times. And it's interesting because Boosteroid, which is a nice little segue, thank you there, Colm. Boosteroid will now roll out 4K cloud gaming servers by late 2023 and early 2024 across its data centers in US and Europe. These servers are the result of R&D with Asus and AMD that was in progress for almost 1 year. We also hope to have the Activision Blizzard games running on Boosteroid by the time these servers are deployed. So even Boosteroid is going 4K. Yeah? So Boosteroid is another option. I mean, Boosteroid has a few games that GeForce Now doesn't. But you're going to be playing them in 1920 1080p. But if that, that's sort of fine. Well, now they'll be playing them in 4K. How much the servers can support that, how many people playing and all of that is to be seen. Watch this space. But the point is, Boosteroid are upgrading to 4K. So the question is, is Xbox, plus Boostroid is getting Microsoft, Xbox, and Activision Blizzard, just like GeForce Now. So you effectively can play Xbox, albeit Xbox PC games, on Boostroid and on GeForce Now Ultimate at a better quality than you can on xCloud. I mean, GeForce, one cloud gaming service, GeForce Now Ultimate at its premier tier, yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll let Xbox have that. Yeah. But two cloud gaming platforms allowing you to play Xbox PC games at a better quality than via xCloud. Surely they've got to upgrade their stream. But maybe it is a reflection of where Xbox sees sees the cloud gaming aspect, merely as a sort of a supplement to the whole Game Pass experience. Whereas for GeForce Now, it's the raison d'etre, and for Boostroid, it's their raison d'etre. It's their kind of main thing, isn't it? That's what they're all about, gaming in the cloud. Whereas xCloud is very much a secondary, nice-to-have supplement to Games Pass. But it's a crying shame because obviously, if they can... I don't know, is it because they're relying on Xbox Series X servers? I mean, in order to sort of get the games at a kind of a high stream rate, you sometimes have to sort of play them on the original servers at a kind of a higher rate, so that when we get them, they're at 4K. I don't know. Maybe that's what's restricting it. But yes, Boostroid getting 4K by the end of the year. So watch this space if you unsure what Boostroid is or what they can do or what games they have. Then definitely check out a video I did a few months ago on this very site. And if you happen to sign up through them, why don't you sign up through one of my links? It all helps pay for the channel. But yeah, Boostroid getting 4K, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting news here. xCloud not start my Samsung TV now. What? Now that's interesting because Samsung are have now rolled out their sort of gaming hub, as it were, to 2020 TVs. I wonder if that's related to that, Jonas. So obviously the gaming hub was originally for 2022 TVs and onwards, and then they were going to roll it back to 2021 and then 2020 TVs. So now your whole GeForce Now app, your Xbox app, and all of that on your Samsung gaming hub should be available on your 2020 Samsung TVs as well. Need a native GFN app on Xbox console. Yeah. There'd be a certain irony to that, Cloudbusters, wouldn't there? Don't you think? A certain irony that you had a GeForce Now app on the Xbox console so that you could play. I mean, is there an argument? I guess the difference is xCloud plays the console version of the games. Yeah. So if the game only comes out as an Xbox console game, then if it's available in the cloud, it can only be available on xCloud. Whereas if it's a Xbox PC game, so therefore not necessarily a console game, although they tried to bring it out as a PC and console game, then you can play it on GeForce Now. So it's not as though Xbox could go, you know what, why don't we just give up this whole xCloud thing and give the contract to GeForce Now and they run it. Yeah? Because they can't really do that because GeForce Now are running the PC version. And xCloud basically runs the console versions of the game. But if there was a way around that, or if they decided, okay, all the games are going to be on console and PC, this is Xbox, then you could see a scenario where they could just enter into an arrangement with GeForce Now and say, you manage our xCloud. But then I guess, is GeForce Now using, Microsoft Azure? Not that Xbox is using Microsoft Azure's cloud-based sort of system directly, but you wouldn't necessarily want to take it out of house, as it were. I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway, back to Sony. Sony is terminating its X, Twitter, integrations for PS5 and PS4. Starting next week, you won't be able to post your clips to X from PS5 anymore. So you used to be able to do that on Xbox. Clip it and then post it to Twitch. I wonder why that is. Tom says blame Elon. But it's interesting. Why? Sony is terminating its its Twitter integrations from PS5 and PS4, meaning you won't be able to post screenshots and clips to Xbox, to X Twitter from those consoles. This includes the ability to view any content published on X on PS5 and PS4, and the ability to post and view content, trophies, and other game-related activities. So if you get like achievements, whatever PlayStation achievements are, can't post them. Sony didn't elaborate why, and they didn't immediately reply to requests for a comment. Maybe it has to do with Xbox API pricing. But interesting. Microsoft disabled Xbox clip sharing to Xbox from consoles and PCs in April. I didn't realise that. Behind the news there. Yeah, and this was updated. So it may be to do with Twitter's... I'm just going to call it Twitter because we all know what we're talking about. It may be something to do with the cost of Twitter's API. It's interesting, though. They're both Xbox and PlayStation. You can't post your clips direct from those consoles to Twitter. That's most odd. Most odd. You know what we need when it comes to audio and gaming? We need a crunch cancellation software. That's what we need. Doritos have released crunch cancellation tech so people don't hear that horrible sound down your mic. Oh my God. Playing games with teenagers or young 20-somethings is so annoying. With background noise on, music playing, crunching, bad audio. Oh my God, even my son sometimes. He plays, bless him, like he's such a fidget. He'll play, right, here we are. And he'll have it there, right? He'll have his mic there. It's like, just put your mic there, son. Yeah, put your mic there. And it's like you're sucking it. Like how many kids you play like online, teenagers and whatnot? They put the bloody thing in their mouth. The sound quality is awful. No wonder he keeps breaking and coming to me. And my mic's not working. No, my mic's not working. Have you got another headset? Have you got another headset? Yes, I have, son. Keep growing these bloody headsets. If you didn't put it in your mouth and shout at it all the time, screaming. Anyway, yes. So that what audio companies need to do is come like a teenage cancellation. Yeah, teenage noise cancellation. Especially when you're playing a game like PUBG or a Battle Royale and you're teaming up. Especially PUBG when you're like, I want to hear the game. And then, firing starts. I want to know where it's coming from. If I'm hiding, I want to know where the footsteps are coming from. And you got somebody playing, some kind of god-awful drill in the background, or I'm sounding like a old granddad now, or eating Honey Nut Crunch. My son eats a giant bowl of Honey Nut Crunch because he's a teenager. That's all he eats. Anyway, Doritos releases crunch cancellation text so people don't hear that horrible sound down your mic. Yes. It's obviously a bit of a gimmick. But anyway, anyone who plays games with friends online will be familiar with the annoying sound that streaks through your headset when a teammate is munching on a snack. So Doritos enlisted the help of a software developer whose artificial intelligence to strip that sound out of comms. And then they've got some sort of, I won't play the demo, but yeah, obviously a bit of a PR gimmick and stuff like that. But yes, oh my gosh. Annoying noises. I used to play like Overwatch a lot. And, just team up with randoms in Overwatch, whatever. And the amount of background noise, like music playing, like somebody's in the kitchen making something, there's radio on, there's a baby crying. And you just think, what? Like, hey, I want to hear the game. I don't want to hear your lifestyle. They're in a chat. You're finding all about their what's going on. They're in a row with the girlfriend or the wife. It's like, oh my Lord, just play the game. Anyway, GFN had a global outage logged on their cloud services. Check of the other. They did indeed. They also don't show a spike in users since Xbox announced on the web analysis, but does continue to show an upward trend, especially in the US as it happens. Interesting. Xbox can update xCloud now. xCloud not start on my Samsung TV now. Yeah, well, they need to sort it out, don't they, Jonas? The Switch 2 is launching with custom NVIDIA hardware, so cloud offerings can be expected to perform next better. Interesting. Play via the Edge browser, of course. Bit fiddly, but yes, I believe so. Hello, Jay. How are you? Crow, good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Hey, everybody. Lovely to see you all. Do me a massive favour. Hit those likes. And, of course, because I like it. I have to do the thing now, don't I? Because I like it. YouTube likes it. And it helps people like you find content like this. And if you are new here, do me the great honour. Arigato gozaimasu. Hit that subscribe button. Toggle that notification bell. That way you'll know when I go live with content. Just like this. It's all about the news, ladies and gentlemen. All about the news. Right. I'm just whizzing through. Yes. So, some revealed. Do we want some Project 007 news? So, of course, IO Interactive Games, of Hitman, perhaps the most perfect developer to take on the 007 James Bond franchise, have revealed a little bit of the project in an interview in Edge magazine. I used to have Edge magazine many, many years ago. Great gaming magazine, like a serious sort of gaming magazine. Really nice articles, beautifully laid out. Anyway, IO Interactive, let's go to the Edge article. Upcoming James Bond project 007 is being described as the ultimate spycraft fantasy. I mean, who better to make it, really, than the Hitman team? I'm so excited for this. I think they're going to do a cracking job. The Hitman games, are so clever. Really, really good. Project 007, the upcoming James Bond game from Hitman developer IO Interactive, is the ultimate spycraft fantasy, according to the studio's CEO. There's still a lot to find out about the mysterious title. It's still at least a few years away from release. 2025? 2026? But Abraham did give us a little to work with now. The few other breadcrumbs we were able to pick up in the office suggest a tone closer to Daniel Craig than Roger Moore, so a slightly more gritty, serious James Bond than a sort of jokey, one-liner Roger Moore type James Bond, and perhaps a more scripted experience than Hitman's freeform jaunts, so much more narrative driven. It's been pitched as the ultimate spycraft fantasy, which suggests gadgets and perhaps a step away from the murderous objectives of Agent 47. Don't get too hung up on the Daniel Craig mention, though, because Project 007 won't be based on any of the James Bond actors. It'll be the studio's own digital Bond and is inspired by the entire film franchise. We also know, thanks to a job listing, that Project 007 is likely to be a third-person action game, which isn't too dissimilar to IO's previous work on the Hitman series. It's also working on a game that's not related to James Bond or Agent 47 and is an online fantasy RPG, which is pretty unexpected. This was announced at the start of 2023. So there we go. Only a little tease, a little hint of upcoming Project 007. But I thought I'd share that with you because it's very exciting. And as I said, who better than IO Interactive? I've always loved their games. Who remembers Freedom Fighters? Set in an alternate history where a bit like The Man in the High Castle type thing, where the Germans have won the war and the Germans have won the Second World War and the Russians invade the US. And you are part of the Freedom Fighters, which basically you're guerrilla fighters defending the US. And it had a really great sort of team dynamic in it, where you had different characters with different skills, and you'd instruct them. At the time, this was really advanced. I'm talking 20 years ago. At the time, it felt really advanced that you were instructing. Not only the concept was really cool, and the opening was really cool, but you'd instruct them to do certain things. So if they needed detonated, you'd say, you need to go over there and do the detonation. Oh, you need to go over there and do the snipering, whatever, You see that a lot now, but back then I just felt it was really, really, really cool. Starfield is getting DLSS 3 support next week. Now, this is part of a Steam beta update, which is interesting. This update will feature NVIDIA DLSS support with frame generation, display and HDR controls. You'll be able to opt in to try it via the Steam beta options. We'd love to hear your feedback before it goes live for all PC and Xbox players after that. So if you are playing the PC version via GeForce Now Ultimate as a product of the PC Game Pass, you're not getting it now. The beta is only in the Steam version by the looks of things, but it will be rolled out. And, it will make what is a pretty good game, albeit with not an amazing frame rate, but it's certainly a game that looks pretty good. The only thing I don't like about Starfield, especially now I've played Alan Wake, and I know it's different, there's so many characters in Starfield and all that kind of stuff, is the character animations. Sometimes they don't look you in the face. The subtlety, I practice that the subtlety of, I wonder if I can show you what I mean. I will try and share with you what I mean from Alan Wake. Brain went dead for a minute because I was doing two things. But the characters follow you round. Really, really cool. I will try and share this with you. Think, Clive, what are you doing? So this was just me playing the game. You see what I see about the character animations there? I mean, I don't even notice, but the way they walk, considering you're controlling it, but the detail, look at the way, look, the torch is wobbling there. You know, I'm controlling the character, but you know, when I control it like that and look around, it feels like less realistic. Okay, now look here. So what I wanted to see is how the character stares at me. If I move, does it keep eye contact? You'll see, I move. I wanted to see, look. Can't quite see there, but I wanted to see whether the character retained eye contact, and it does. In a way that they don't on Starfield. If you move about too much, they sort of lose eye contact with you. Go back to the news. Anyway. But I get it. I understand. You know, Starfield is a massive, massive game with loads and loads of characters. I just prefer the character animation in Alan Wake was a real kind of, oh my God, why aren't all games character animations like this? The detail makes it feel so, it draws you in. That's what Alan Wake 2 does for me. Yeah. I don't have that what they call it, that uncanny valley feeling where it sort of throws you out of the experience slightly because the characters don't feel quite right, and you sort of accept it because that's gaming. But when you see it done so well like Alan Wake, it's interesting. But anyway, back to Bethesda. The game overall, obviously Starfield, looks amazing, especially the panoramic views and stuff like that, and the different planets and all of that. And I'm still loving the game, really enjoying it. I've just been absorbed by Alan Wake at the moment. But anyway, coming soon, NVIDIA DLS support with frame generation and HDR controls. So again, another perfect example to be playing on GeForce Now Ultimate. So coming soon, watch this space, but you can sign up for the Steam beta version and give it a go. Talking of Xbox and controllers and whatnot, there's a new policy with unofficial game controllers with Xbox. Say goodbye to unofficial accessories from November, thanks to error 0x82D600002 update. Microsoft, so as of November the 12th, so as of next week, Microsoft will no longer allow unauthorized third-party accessories to be used with Xbox consoles. So they have to be like an official, authorized or licensed by Xbox. I've got this little Predator controller that was sent to me. It's quite cool, actually. I quite like it. But I've not tried it on Xbox. But something like this might not work on Xbox because it's not authorized. Xbox advises returning the accessory and instead referring to a list of its authorized products on its website. So there we go. Yeah? Don't be buying accessories thinking they're automatically going to work, like steering wheels and whatnot. I was looking for a steering wheel for my son, although he still wants a Meta Quest 3. I'm not made of money, son. But yeah. So unauthorized accessories no longer will be working on Xbox as of next week. It's the official deadline, ladies and gentlemen. And talking of Starfield, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella says Starfield launch helped boost Xbox Game Pass. I mean, there was a lot of buzz around the game when it launched. So, quelle surprise, really. I mean, for the price of a month subscription, this is how, when Xbox Game Pass first launched, I've told this story before, but it's so true. I really wanted to play Sea of Thieves, and that was sort of the first big game to launch on Xbox Game Pass as a sort of day and date launch. It really, to demonstrate that these massive AAA games, day and date, would be coming straight to Game Pass. And I thought, you know what? Do I pay 50 quid for Sea of Thieves, or do I, at the time, pay £1 for like a 3-month trial of Xbox Game Pass and get a 50 quid game plus loads of other games? Well done, Xbox, because I've never stopped subscribing since. And that was what? 2018? I want to see 2018. So, yeah, a big game like that makes a lot of sense. That, people are going to, for the price of an Xbox Game Pass, there's a lot of a lot of gaming to be had within this one game. It's a good game. It is a good game. But anyway, yes, so it's official there. Starfield launch helped boost Xbox Game Pass subscriptions added on a single day. The most Game Pass subscriptions added on a single day ever. So it goes to show the strategy works. Imagine when they announced Call of Duty, although obviously all the flack Call of Duty is getting at the moment, the latest version of it, maybe hold your applause for a moment. But something like that, normally, when they announce it's going to be available on Game Pass, see those Game Pass subscriptions jump significantly. We can't do a show without Skull and Bones. Another delay to the first few months of 2024. Is this ship ever going to leave the harbour? I missed the closed beta. I got invited to it. I missed the email. And then when I discovered I had the email, the thing was over. Pay attention to your emails, Clive. So I missed the closed beta. But yes, this game was supposed to release in 2018. Have they rebuilt the game? Like from scratch? They must have. They must have just scrapped what they were doing, like in 2018, and rebuilt the whole thing. I still don't think it's going to... Do you mean there is so much potential for a kind of... Not realistic, but do you know what I mean? Like a less cartoony version of Sea of Thieves. So an Assassin's Creed style, Call of Duty style, Alan Wake, whatever, Sea of Thieves, rather than a sort of a jokey Captain Pugwash type Sea of Thieves. Like there's that Sea of Thieves knockoff that's available on GeForce Now this month. Like, can I borrow your homework, Sea of Thieves? I think I said in the news roundup. It is almost using the same stock characters. But yeah, imagine Skull and Bones, but but it's actually Sea of Thieves. That would be an interesting game. What I'd like is a Sea of Thieves in space. I'd like a Sea of Thieves Starfield, yeah, where you're not meeting with, not just having NPCs that you might get into a space battle with, but actual other players, and you're having to mine, get resources from planets and stuff like that. Build that game, Microsoft. Yeah? Build a Starfield meets Sea of Thieves, and I am in. Big time. Anyway, come on, Ubisoft, pull your socks up. Hoist that flag. Won't be till 2024, so any prospect of them making loads of sales this Christmas, there's the X. Anyway, there you go. Let's just see what you lot have been saying in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that outage and Baldur's Gate 3 being offline sent me into a downward spiral. No! Indeed, I saw the OpenAI developer. I might do a roundup of some of the news from OpenAI. Some really interesting things were revealed. I used to like Edge. Now I prefer Rim. I'm less familiar with Rim. Thoughts and prayers, indeed. You're showing 16,000 likes on this video. That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. Anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There is the game news. Some interesting things shared. I hope you found that useful. I hope you found it interesting. I really, really appreciate you all turning up. I know I'm a bit kind of lapsed and I miss a few Mondays here and there. Hopefully we'll get back into the swing of things. Hopefully you'll be on the same wavelength in terms of the time. Now when your clocks go back or now my clocks have gone back and all of that. And we'll all sync up and everything will be perfect. As we come up to what hopefully, with Thanksgiving and all that kind of stuff. And there should be some big games and news and sales in terms of consoles and all of that. So as ever, I really, really do appreciate people who turn up to listen to me ramble for an hour about all things gaming, and many of you seem to enjoy it. So long may it last. I really appreciate it. So yes, arigato gozaimasu. Super, super thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful gaming weekend. Look out. I have another laptop review coming on Wednesday, if that's your thing. Another gaming laptop review, a sort of a mid-tier gaming laptop, 1,500 quid kind of price range. Check that out this Wednesday. Other than that, I'll see you here, same time. Remember, 10 p.m. UK, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Same time, same place next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Stay frosty. And I'll see you around very, very soon.
Thanks for watching the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden. Don't forget to hit the likes, subscribe, and consider becoming a member. Hit the join button today.